The Japanese submarine I-400 and the entire Sentoku class, Chien Taishing, or special submarine, represent one of the most astonishing, bold, futuristic, and ultimately tragically unrealized projects of World War II. These submarines still hold the record among all non-nuclear submarines for size and capabilities. Their length was exactly 122 meters, 400 feet, hull width 12 meters, draft 7 meters. Surface displacement was 5,223 tons, submerged 6,560 tons, larger than most Allied destroyers of the era, and roughly twice the weight of standard American fleet submarines like the Gato or Balao class, which displaced 1,500 to 2,400 tons submerged. The power plant was extremely powerful and carefully engineered. 4 Kawasaki diesel engines, each producing 1,680 kilowatts, 2,250 horsepower for surface running, and 2 electric motors of 1,600 kilowatts, 2,100 horsepower, each for submerged propulsion. Maximum surface speed reached 18.7 knots, about 34.6 kilometers per hour, submerged 6.5 knots, 12 kilometers per hour. Working dive depth was 100 meters, test depth possibly higher, full dive time 56 seconds, noticeably slower than American counterparts, but compensated by other outstanding features. The most incredible characteristic was the range. 37,500 nautical miles, approximately 69,400 kilometers, on economical speed without a single refueling. That was enough to circumnavigate the Earth 1.5 times and return to Japan. Endurance for food, water, and supplies was 90 days, making these boats true underwater cruisers capable of operating anywhere in the world's oceans without support. But the real revolution was their primary strike capability, the ability to carry and deploy 3 special Aichi M6A1 Seiran bombers, Clear Sky Storm or Mountain Haze. Inside a massive watertight cylindrical hangar, 31 meters long and 3.5 meters in diameter, protected by a heavy door with a 51-millimeter rubber gasket, the aircraft were stored completely disassembled. Wings rotated 90 degrees and folded hydraulically along the fuselage, tail surfaces folded downward. Floats were removed and stowed in separate watertight compartments beside the catapult. 4 mechanics working in sync could assemble one aircraft in 7 to 15 minutes, depending on whether floats were fitted. All critical assembly points were marked with fluorescent paint for work in complete darkness or dim light. Launch was performed from a 26 to 37 meter, sources vary, Type 4 No. 2, Model 10, compressed air catapult. The plane accelerated along rails like on a real carrier, but the entire operation allowed surfacing, launching 3 aircraft and diving again in minutes. Aircraft recovery, per the original plan, worked as follows. After the mission, the Seiran landed on the water nearby, on floats. Then a crane, capacity 4.5 tons, extendable 11.8 meters, lifted it aboard and returned it to the hangar. In extreme scenarios, floats were jettisoned in flight. This greatly increased speed and range but made return impossible. In that case, pilots either became kamikaze or parachuted, with the submarine picking them up from the water. By war's end, most plans shifted to one-way missions. Return was considered too risky and complicated in combat. The Aichi M6A1 Seiran was designed exclusively for submarine carrier requirements. Engine: Aichi Atsuta 31, licensed copy of the German Daimler-Benz DB601, 12-cylinder V-type, liquid-cooled, 1,400 horsepower at takeoff. Top speed, 475 kilometers per hour, 295 miles per hour at 5,200 meters, cruise 296 kilometers per hour. Range about 1,188 kilometers with full load. Crew of 2, pilot and observer/gunner armed with a flexible 13mm Type 2 machine gun. Bomb load up to 850 kilograms. 1 Type 91 aerial torpedo, 1 800-kilogram bomb, or 2 250-kilogram bombs. Without floats, the plane became noticeably lighter and faster, ideal for stealthy long-range strikes. Development of the Siron began in 1942 under the 17 specification, Special Attack Bomber. The first prototype flew in November 1943. A total of 28 aircraft were built, including prototypes and 2 M6A1K Nansen trainer variants with wheeled landing gear for land practice. Production was severely hampered by the December 1944 earthquake, massive B-29 bombings, and chronic material shortages. Pilots received hormone injections to enhance night vision and were given short swords as symbols of willingness to sacrifice. For camouflage, planes were repainted silver with American insignia. This caused deep humiliation among pilots, but it was deemed necessary to deceive enemy air defenses. The idea of submarine aircraft carriers emerged just weeks after the Pearl Harbor attack in December 1941. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, Commander-in-Chief of the Combined Fleet and mastermind of Pearl Harbor, realized Japan could not win a prolonged war against America's industrial power. After the catastrophic defeat at Midway in June 1942, he proposed building 18 such submarines to strike the U.S. mainland. Initial targets were bombings of major cities: San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Washington. Later, priority shifted to the Panama Canal, America's most critical logistics choke point. Destruction of the Gatun locks, Atlantic side, or Miraflores, Pacific side, would drain Gatun Lake, shutting the canal for 6 to 12 months. Reinforcements from the Atlantic could not quickly reach the Pacific, giving Japan a strategic breathing space. The plan was developed from 1943. Captain Chikao Yamamoto and Commander Yasuo Fujimori proposed an attack with 10 aircraft, 3 from each, 400 and I-401, plus 2 from modified smaller submarines, I-13 and I-14. Route: around Cape Horn through the Atlantic, 2 months' journey, to approach from the unexpected direction. Launch planned at dawn from 185 kilometers off Ecuador's coast, flight at 4,000 meters over Colombia to Colón, then strike with torpedoes and 800-kilogram bombs, or kamikaze ramming. By April 1945, torpedoes were abandoned. Only one pilot mastered accurate water-level torpedo drops and shifted to pure kamikaze attacks. Training took place in Nanao Bay from June 1945. A full-scale wooden model of the Gatun locks was floated, night flights, rapid aircraft assembly, and bombing practice were drilled. One Siron crashed during training. Pilots' bodies washed ashore on Sadagashima Island. Construction began in January 1943 at Kure and Sasebo shipyards under total secrecy. Workers signed oaths of silence under penalty of death, blueprints kept under strict classification. Cost per boat, 28,861,000 yen at 1942 prices, an enormous sum for wartime Japan. After Yamamoto's death in April 1943, his plane shot down by Americans over the Solomons. The original plan for 18 units was cut to 9, then 5, and finally only 3 were completed. The December 1944 earthquake damaged slipways. B-29 raids destroyed materials, steel and labor shortages finished the project. Completed boats: I-400, commissioned December 30, 1944, I-401, January 8, 1945, I-402, July 24, 1945, converted to submarine tanker without hangar or aircraft. The rest, I-403 to I-417, canceled at various stages. I-404, 95% complete, heavily damaged by bombs and scrapped in 1952. Crew per boat: 144 to 157 men plus 10 pilots from the 631st Special Air Group, sometimes total over 200. Living conditions were brutal. No air conditioning meant interior temperatures of plus 40 degrees Celsius and higher in the tropics, extreme humidity, primitive toilets without proper flush, weak ventilation. Men slept in passageways, on decks, in extreme crowding amid smells of sweat, fuel, and food. Refrigerators tiny, diet rice, dried fish, canned goods. Fresh food lasted only a month at best. Despite this, the crew was elite. Best submariners, pilots, engineers of the Imperial Navy. Pilots received hormones for night vision, short swords as symbols of sacrifice. Commanders: Captain Toshio Kusaka on Y-400, Captain Tatsunosuke Ariazumi, flotilla commander, a fanatic who participated in midget submarine operations at Pearl Harbor. On June 12, 1945, the Panama Canal attack plan was officially canceled after Okinawa's fall and the start of massive raids on the Japanese home islands. High Command decided the canal could no longer save the homeland. New target: Ulithi Atoll, the main forward base of the U.S. fleet with 15 aircraft carriers. The operation was named Arashi, Mountain Storm. It had 2 phases. Hikari, I-13 and I-14, carried 4 Nakajima C-6N Seiyun recon planes to Truk for target confirmation, and Arashi, I-400 and I-401 launched 6 Seiran as kamikaze on August 17th under a full moon, low over water, with 800 kilograms bombs. Planes repainted silver with American stars and bars. Pilots considered this humiliating, but orders were strict. The group departed Ominato July 23 to 26, 1945, after a solemn farewell ceremony with sake and prayers. I-400 survived a severe typhoon July 28. On August 5th, a fire broke out in the electrical panel. The crew extinguished it submerged in thick smoke. I-13 was sunk by Americans July 16th, but on August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender. Orders to the submarines were conflicting. Some demanded continued fighting, others surrender. Commander Ariazumi chose samurai honor. On August 22nd, crews destroyed everything secret. On Y-400, mechanics assembled 1 Seiran in 10 minutes, launched it unmanned, wings folded, engine running. It crashed into the ocean and sank. Then all bombs jettisoned, torpedoes fired into empty water, codes, charts, documents burned. On I-401, aircraft simply catapulted overboard. August 26th to 27th, black surrender flags raised. I-400 spotted by TF-38 aircraft and intercepted by destroyers USS Blue and USS Mansfield, 500 miles northeast of Tokyo. Americans were stunned. The Japanese sub was longer than their destroyers. A 40-man prize crew boarded. I-401 surrendered to USS Segundo. September 3rd, both boats arrived, Yokosuka, American flag raised. Vice Admiral Charles Lockwood, ComSubPac, personally conducted the ceremony. The boats were thoroughly studied in Sasebo and Pearl Harbor. American engineers amazed by smooth ride in storms, vast range, hangar design, degaussing, and anechoic coating. But the Cold War began. The Soviet Union demanded access under post-war agreements. March 26, 1946. Order to sink all Japanese submarines in Operation Road's End to prevent advanced technology from reaching the Russians. Most Japanese subs scuttled off Goto Islands April 1, 1946. I-400 and I-401 moved to Hawaii for further evaluation, February to May 1946, then sunk by torpedoes from USS Trumpetfish, May 31st, and June 4, 1946, off Oahu at over 700 meters depth. Wrecks, rediscovered only in the 21st century. I-401 in 2005, I-400 in 2013, I-402 in 2015. One preserved Siran, restored 1989 to 2000 from wreckage, displayed at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington. These submarines never fought in real combat, never dropped a single bomb. They became the brightest symbol of desperation and engineering genius of late-war Japan. The submarine aircraft carrier concept hugely influenced post-war development. Modern submarine-launched ballistic missiles, Polaris, Trident, Bulava, are a direct echo of Sentoku. Had the war lasted a few more months, the Panama Canal might have been knocked out, causing thousands of deaths and seriously altering the war's course. Instead, these giants lie silently on the ocean floor, a reminder of how close humanity came to the edge and how technology can outpace morality.